nothing major today, but I'm just going to cover a little bit of the pre-season video I've seen of the squad back up in St Andrews in Scotland. A couple of notable appearances. Robert Snodgrass seems to be fit for the coming season. Obviously West Ham will need extra squad depth going forward. Interestingly enough, you've got Conor Coventry, Josh Cullen, Jordan Hugill, all training with the squad. For me, it'll be interesting to see whether the club retain the likes of Cullen and Hugill. Obviously Hugill being banded around for a move to either Norwich or QPR. But from a striker sense, we look quite weak on the ground. I've seen Allaire and obviously Antonio training, so they're fit, they're ready to go. In general, it's quite good to see the squad is in decent nick. There's no real injuries, even Wilshire's starting to train as well. So for us going into this new season, obviously a couple of the pre-season games I'll quickly touch on are coming. So to have that fully fit squad, to allow David Moyes to have that look at the team and figure out what players are going to play going into next season. I personally would like to see the likes of Conor Coventry and Josh Cullen be involved in the squad. I think Cullen has been a decent performer in the Championship. Obviously there is that step up in level. As a player, I like him. I think he's got a good passing range. He's good at keeping a tempo. I think in games where West Ham need to relieve the pressure off the back four, or maybe we might even see a back three with two wing backs next season, Cullen could be a good option to have. And particularly with this transfer window, I'm not massively convinced we're going to bring in too many midfielders. So we could see the likes of Cullen and Coventry be given a chance. Good to see Psycho is with the coaching staff again. It looks like David Moyes has got his staff set up. You know, you've got the likes of Kevin Nolan, Nevin, Alan Irvine. You know, they're all there. Apparently, obviously, X has mentioned that they've brought in a fitness coach. So it'll be interesting to see how that impacts on the squad and whether, you know, West Ham are a little bit more consistent next season. As I've already mentioned, I'm not convinced we're going to have too many additions. So having a decent fitness coach is going to help the squad recover quite quickly and do well for the coming season. Yeah, I'm sort of cautiously optimistic. You know, I think West Ham have got a good base from which to start on. We've obviously got a game against Wickham and Ipswich coming up, a bit of a weird one where they're going to split the first team squad between the two games to give them a run out. I will be watching the Wickham game at least because it's free on YouTube, so I'll be giving my thoughts on that and seeing if there's anything I can pick up. These pre-season games don't really have too much to them. There's not that much needle, so it could be a very boring game. But I think it'll be good to see Moyes' thinking behind certain squad members, whether he'll play, you know, Ben Johnson at right back, whether he'll look to play him at left back. You know, we shall see. We're going to be stepping up the pre-season as well with Brentford and Reading, two Championship outfits. I think Brentford's a really good test for us. I'm not convinced how much Thomas Frank, in terms of his playing squad, are going to play. You know, the likes of Watkins and Ben Rama could be off by then. So we really don't know what they're going to put out. And potentially these players might not even play if they're transfer targets that are sellable assets. So I think that's a good test. Reading are a sort of lower than mid-table Championship side. Obviously they'll come to play and come to put a shift in. And as we're nearing sort of that end of that pre-season window, I think I would look for Moyes to play a slightly stronger squad and start to get that bedded in for the start of the season. Then there's the Betway Cup, the infamous Betway Cup. We'll be playing Bournemouth at home. Interesting game. You know, they've just been relegated from the Premier League. It'll be interesting to see how, you know, Jason Tindall's got them working. Obviously, they've lost Ake and Ramsdale now, so we'll be looking at a different squad to what we were used to looking at in the Premier League. I'd expect West Ham to play a full strength side, and if potentially rest players maybe after the 60th minute and give a few players a run out. I think, really and truthfully, I think when you start to get to the Brentford games, Reading, Bournemouth, I think we'll be looking at sort of different looks of squads, you know, a first team and a second team. Hopefully with the Bournemouth game as the first team starting against Newcastle on the opening day of the season. But, you know, unfortunately, as a West Ham fan, you always get really optimistic and then they let you down. But I do think that having Newcastle as the first game of the season at home is a real positive for us. You know, we've had some real dodgy fixtures over the last few years, you know, either away to an Arsenal or Liverpool or home to Manchester City. This is a nice game for us to get settled into. And I think, given some of our fixtures in October, and sort of preceding that, we need to be bang on. We need to get 3 points and really sort of stabilise, because you know, I will cover it in a separate video. Of course, the fixtures are a massive talking point, but I don't want us to throw any games against teams that could be around us. We need to win those games. So I will chat about that. That was my little take on the pre-season so far. I'm going to try and do some content looking at some games, potentially do some live streaming. That's going to be a massive feature of this YouTube channel going forward. I'm just setting up a few little things, getting the right graphics. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. So bear with us. You will have it. And until next time, take care.